Hey everybody, this is Dave Blair from the Simpit Pit Crew, and this is the final race of the season. So this is the Simpit, and we are running the Lotus Exos 125 at Brands Hatch. This is the Friday night race, so this is week 6, race 2, and here we go. So we are on board with Steve Walker here. So Steve Walker is going to get off on the grass right here, and he's going to get into Rick Longano. And he's going to collect a few others here. So this is the very first corner. Not a great start. Okay, taking a look at it from Rick Longano's point of view, you can see he gets bumped there. He thinks he's okay, and then gets hit again. So rough start for him. So looking at it from Heiko Sherman, his point of view, he's going to get tangled up in this too. So he's off to a rough start. He has a good finish, but he's off to a rough start here. And then one more time with Will Dawson. He's involved here too. He's got to go through the sand, but at least he didn't damage his car. So back on board with Rick Longano after that first corner incident. He's not done yet. He's going to get tapped here in the second corner also. And then he's going to tap somebody. So basic carnage. Now taking a look at it from Dan Bradford's point of view, he just got turned into there, but he did okay. He made it through the corner. Then looking at it from Robert Orr's point of view, he was the other one that got involved in this incident. When Rick Longano came back on, he tapped him around, so that's what happened there. You know, when your car gets out of control and you start spinning around, I mean, you're almost at the mercy of everybody else, whether you get hit or not. All right, now we're on board with Ray Robinson, and he's going to get hit here. This was just after the turn 2 incident, so this is turn 3. And we're looking at it from Michael King's point of view here. Again, he wasn't prepared for Ray to slow down that much, I guess. But he was pretty much unaffected. Now we're on board with Nicholas Steven, and this is still the first lap, so he's going to run off on that one corner that a lot of people had problems with last night. Now we're on board with Sean Cole as Nicholas Steven goes off here. When he comes back on, he just catches Sean's rear tire, sends him flying. So that was really bad luck. Now we're on board with Ray Robinson, and Nicholas Steven isn't done yet. He thought he was getting ready to go, and then he ran right into Ray Robinson. Again, looking at it from Nick Stevens' point of view, you just got to be careful when you come back on the track and get going. You never know who's coming up behind you. Now we're on board with Nick Ravencroft, and he's running in second right here. And he also set the fastest lap time on this track. So this guy's fast, but he's going to make a little mistake here. And because it's early in the race, that mistake is going to cost him several positions here. So that's just bad luck on his part. But at least he rejoined pretty well. It could have been worse. Now we're on board with Max Speed, and this was after the Sean Cole incident here. And you're just going to see him go off the track here a little bit. I don't know if he was worried about where Sean was, and that caused Sean to go off there. But yeah, just not a good set of corners there. And here's Sean Cole's view of the whole situation. He had just got back on the track here after his incident. I'm sure he thought he was fine, and then he probably wasn't sure where that max speed guy was. Not to mention he was having problems with his force feedback. Now we're on board with Nick Steven again. And just like last night, these corners were hard for a lot of people, and you're going to run into trouble again here. Now going back there, I'm not sure. I mean, I see he's trying to make that pass there, but I don't know that I would have gone for that. But again, going at these speeds, it's hard to tell. But yeah, unfortunate incident there. So looking at that incident from Ray Robinson's point of view, you know, he was just trying to be careful around the inside of that corner so that Steve Walker had room on the outside, and he slowed down too much and got tapped. Good recovery though. Now we're on board with Dan Bradford, and he's just going to get a little tap here. Again, not sure what happened on that one. That was Schuerman that hit him, and I don't think he was prepared for him to slow down that much for that corner. I'm not sure. I've looked at that a couple times. But an unfortunate incident there for Dan Bradford. Okay, looking at that incident again, we're on board with Schuerman here. Yeah, it's just hard to tell. Again, from this view, it looks a lot slower than it does when you're actually in the car. When you're in the car, that all happens so fast. Now we're on board with Sean Cole again, and you can watch his stream, but he had a few struggles this week. You know, good effort for him to try to come out here after moving last week and trying to get everything set up and a new wheel. But you can watch his stream on the Simpit YouTube channel. But yeah, a lot of stress. And yeah, we do appreciate everything you do, Sean. He's going to call it a night here. So going back, we're on board with Steve Walker, and this is where Sean had just spun out. And yeah, Steve Walker just kind of runs into him there. Probably wasn't prepared for that. Also, from his point of view, if we go back here, because he was right behind Robert Orr here, he probably never even saw Sean sitting there. So that's just an unfortunate incident. Now we're on board with Schuerman here, and if you go to the Simpit YouTube channel, Sean Cole was covering the front three, which was George Vidal and Jesse Conroy and Doug Hawley, and that was some good racing up front. But we had a good little race right here between the four of us. That's me in the front, Dave Blair, then Robin Merritt, Sean Sebring, and we're on board with Schuerman here. Now he's going to get into Sean Sebring and send him flying, but look at that recovery. Sean Sebring making the highlights. Good job. I mean, that takes a lot of focus, and we'll take another look at it from his point of view. So let's get on board with Sean and see how that panned out for him. So now we're on board with Sean Sebring, and we're coming into that corner. And this is Pro Sim TNT on YouTube. I can't wait to watch his stream and see how he reacted to that. But what a recovery. I mean, he just got punted and slid across that infield and picked it right back up. Outstanding. Good job, Sean. One more time. Sean Sebring punted and recovered. Wow. Really impressive. Now we're on board with Nicholas Stephen, and he's just going to go a little wide here. Wow. Lost a lot of spots there. But it could have been worse. At least his car still runs. We'll talk more about that when we get on board with Doug Hawley. So now we're back on board with Schuerman, and he's right behind Sean Sebring here. Again, this was a great battle between myself, Robin Merritt, Sean Sebring, and Schuerman. We battled for several laps like this, and it was pretty good, close, intense racing. Yeah, he's going to dip his tire on the inside corner there and get hung up. But pretty good recovery. He lost a few spots, but he makes a strong comeback. Now we're on board with Nicholas Stephen again, and he's going to just catch the inside of that lip there. It throws his car. Now we're on board with Will Dawson, and this is some good racing right here. You've got Robin Merritt, Sean Sebring, and Will Dawson all here battling. That's me up in the front, just off screen. But like I said, this was some good racing up front, so just wanted to kind of cover some of this stuff. And you know, I know Sean covered the top three, but there was some really good racing going on here mid-pack. Nice move. Now we're on board with Jesse Conroy, and him and George Vidal here are battling for first place. But Jesse Conroy put on a very impressive performance. And I will cover also, George Vidal ran into some problems when he went to the pits. A lot of people on Sean's stream were asking why he fell from first place down so far, but I will try to cover that here. So now we're on board with Sean Sebring, and he's right behind me here. Again, really putting the pressure on me. And that's Will Dawson poking his nose up there. And Sean Sebring, I don't know, felt the pressure maybe, but had to drop out. Then he got into Steve Walker there. And that is really unfortunate because I was really enjoying that battle. So this is Sean Sebring, Pro Sim TNT. If you want to watch, he records the races and records them, puts them on YouTube if you want to watch his channel and get his feedback. But I love his intro. He does an intro and an exit where he talks about the race, so check that out. So now we're on board with Steve Walker, and we're going to get that from his point of view. Yep. That hurt a little bit, but Sean got the worst of it there. Now we're on board with Will Dawson, and he's right behind me. And I'm getting ready to go in the pit here. And so I was slowing down, and Will was trying to go around me, so he had to slow, and then he got tapped from the back. So, Will, I apologize for that. I don't know. I was heading to the pit. I thought you had room to get around me. I didn't know you were going to get tapped from behind, though. That should have gone a lot smoother. So, sorry about that. So, looking at it again, we're on board with Rick Longano here. And yeah, he wasn't prepared for Will Dawson to slow down that much, I think. So he tapped him off there, and Waited for him to get going again. Steve Walker slides through. Will's tires are hot. And then Rick's going to go off here too. Yeah, so a few struggles out there. Same thing as last night. So we're on board with Ray Robinson here. And also, just like last night, people were struggling with this corner right here, and it claims another one. It's just a rough car and track combination with these blind corners. This car's so fast, and yeah, you really have to anticipate where the corner is. Alright, all things considered, that's a pretty good re-entry in traffic. Now we're on board with Rick Longano, and he's got Rick Hyde right there in front of him, and this is going to be the meetings of the Ricks. And they're both going to go off then at turn 1 there. So that was costly for both of them. But they're not done yet. The two Ricks are going to get into it again up here. Again, he just taps his tire there. There's George Vidal. Yeah, his tires were not holding up at this point. And that was it for him. He called it quits. So looking at that incident again, now we're on board with Rick Hyde from his point of view. He's got Rick Longano right behind him. Just going to tap his tire there. So not too bad for him. Now we're on board with Ray Robinson again. I think he's trying to be the star of the show here. That corner's going to claim him again. Ray Robinson struggling for grip. Good re-entry. So now we're on board with Schurman again, and that's Ray Robinson in front of him, and he's just going to bump him out of the way. But in his defense, I think Ray was really struggling. He had just had that last spin there, and his tires were probably pretty shot. So looking at it again from Ray's point of view, he's getting a little loose there, and he did slow down quite a lot for this corner, and then he got pushed off, and then he called it quits for the night. So now we're on board with Doug Hawley, and he's right behind Jesse Conroy. At this point, Jesse is in first, and Doug is in second. They were both talking to each other in chat also. But he was going to make the move here and then slowed down. But yeah, this was some good racing between these two. It's really unfortunate what happened to Doug Hawley last night and what happened to him tonight. But we'll cover that when we get there. But really unfortunate for Doug Hawley. 2 nights in a row racing almost the entire race in the top 5. I think he was 4th when he got taken out yesterday. But yeah, just putting on a great display and then get taken out right at the end of the game is I don't know, beyond frustrating. I think at those times, I mean, we have to remember it's just a game, and this is supposed to be fun, but you know, if you watch Sean Cole's stream also, it's very stressful. So we have to balance the stress and the fun. So now we're on board with Max Speed, Max Speed. I think it's Max Speed. I'm not sure. I think that's what he was going for with the name. But here he is getting ready to come on the front stretch. He's just going to get tapped from behind. So we'll take one more look at that. Yeah, so now we're on board with Robert Orr, and he was right behind Max Speed there. I don't know, this corner, there were a lot of incidents on this corner this night. And I don't know, it didn't seem like there were that many last night, but for some reason, that corner right before the front stretch collected a few people. So real quickly, I want to cover what happened to George Vidal. So he came in for his first pit stop, and he was leading the race at this point. So again, I don't know what happened, but he came in for his first pit stop. I think he overshot his stopping place here, and for whatever reason, maybe he didn't have reverse mapped. I don't know. He took off again, went around another lap, and then came into pit stop again. Here he is coming back in for his second pit stop after one lap out. So I don't know, again, I don't know what happened. George Vidal, if you watch this video, maybe leave a comment, let everyone know. But my guess is that he didn't have reverse. I don't know. But that is how he fell from first place all the way down to where he was. So I know there were some people watching Sean Cole's stream on YouTube that didn't know what happened to him, but that's what happened. And I don't know why, but he took a pit stop, went out, did another lap, and took another pit stop. So I find it hard to believe that that's his pit stop strategy, because that really cost him a lot of time. Anyway, leave a comment, George. Let us know what happened. We all want to know. Okay, so now we're on board with Doug Hawley, and this was a big incident tonight. He's right behind me here. And Doug, I feel partially to blame here. You were coming up on me. I should have moved over at this point. I was getting ready to. Now you went off a little wide, and I think you applied the brakes there, which caused you to spin. You were still okay at this point, but then Max Speed comes slamming into you and took your car out, from what I understand. So 2 nights in a row, and you know, Doug gets taken out right there towards the end of the race. Now you can see this is 45 minutes in here, and I feel really bad. Again, I don't know if this was partially my fault, but again, in slow motion here, it looks like you had to tap the brakes for me, which caused you to spin. So that caught your tire there, and I think your car was still okay. But then Max Speed got loose over there, and he came in and basically out of control, and then took you out for the rest of the race, which, I don't know. That is really unfortunate. I can't believe that happened 2 nights in a row to you. So one more time, we're going to back it up and look at it from Max Speed's point of view. Yeah, so now we're on board with Max Speed, and we're going to take a look at it from his point of view. Yeah, he just goes wide there. And really, he's out of control at this point. I mean, that is just bad luck. And I feel really bad for you. This actually took both of you guys out. Max Speed's night was done also. Okay, so now, as always, we are going to take a look at 10th to 1st. So, 10th place was me, Dave Blair. Dave Blair in 10th. Sean Sebring finished in ninth. Ninth place for Sean Sebring. That's ProSim TNT on YouTube. Eighth place was John Hill. John Hill in 8th place. Jerry Wolf in 7th place. 7th place was Jerry Wolf. Will Dawson in 6th place. 6th place was Will Dawson. In 5th place we had Rick Hyde. Rick Hyde in 5th place. 4th place was George Vidal. George Vidal, 4th. In 3rd place we had Nicholas Ravencroft. Nicholas Ravencroft, 3rd place. Welcome to the top split. In 2nd place, we had Heiko Schurman. Heiko Schurman in 2nd place. And tonight's winner was Jesse Conroy. Jesse Conroy, 1st place. Excellent job. He led for the majority of the race. And he was talking to Sean Cole through chat while racing. Pretty funny. So if you haven't seen that, you should go to the Simpit and watch Sean's YouTube channel. And he was kind of egged on by the chat to start talking to Jesse. And I don't know, it was pretty funny. But good job, Jesse Conroy. All right, so that's the end of this season. This is the Lotus Exos 125, and now is a great time if you want to come and join us in Assetto Corsa and race on the sim racing system. We're getting ready to start a new series, so now's the time to jump in if you've been thinking about it. You can start the brand new series with us. Okay, so here's a look at the standings. This is the end of the series for the Lotus Exos. And here you can see where everybody placed. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And we're trying to build this channel. Hopefully you come out and join us on the racetrack. Just scrolling down here, we had 207 people that came out and gave this car a try. So again, please like the video, share the video, and come out and race with us. Anyway, thank you for watching.